Welcome, friends. Today, we journey deep into the misty forests of the Appalachian Mountains and into the ancient memory of the Cherokee people. In these sacred lands, there is a sign, rare, radiant, and deeply spiritual. A creature that glides through shadow and story alike. The white deer. Unlike its common, brown kin, the white deer is not just an animal. It is a message, a spirit, a warning, and a promise. Cherokee elders tell of a powerful prophecy. When the white deer walks among men, the great change is near. This isn't a myth to them. It's a signal, a sign that the earth is speaking. That balance has been broken, or is about to be restored. White animals in native tradition are sacred. They appear only when something monumental is shifting. And now, more than ever, these sightings are increasing. So what is the great change? Is it environmental? Spiritual? Global? To understand, we must walk with reverence. We must listen. And remember the old ways. If this message moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Every comment, every super thanks donation helps keep this ancient wisdom alive. Thank you for walking this path with us. In many Native American traditions, white animals are not just rare, they are sacred. They carry deep spiritual meaning. A white buffalo, a white raven, and yes, a white deer. Each one is seen as a messenger, a sign from the Creator, a whisper from the spirit world. They appear when the world is about to change, when balance is shifting, when something, either in nature, in society, or within us, is being called back into harmony. For the Cherokee people, the white deer is one of the most powerful signs. It represents purity, spiritual clarity, and transformation. It is said to appear when a great transition is near, a time of rebirth, a call to reconnect with the land, a reminder to honor the sacredness of life. Some say its presence signals that ancestors are near, watching, guiding, calling us home. But one thing is certain. When a white deer walks among us, it is never an accident. It is a moment to pause, to reflect, to listen to the earth, to spirit, and to the wisdom that came long before us. What is the great change the prophecy speaks of? Among Cherokee elders and mystics, the answers varied, but at the heart of every telling is one truth. A moment of collective transformation. A point when human behavior, the earth's well-being, and spiritual imbalance reach a limit. A threshold we can no longer ignore. Some elders describe it as a great purification, a cleansing of the earth through natural disasters, through upheaval, collapse, and sorrow. Others speak of a spiritual awakening, a shift in consciousness, when enough people finally turn away from greed, from pollution, from war, and choose instead to walk in harmony again, with the land, with the Creator, with each other. And some say it's a sign of judgment, not from punishment, but from the natural order. A warning that if we do not return to balance, nature herself will restore it. In this vision, the white deer becomes more than a rare animal. It is a message, a sign, a sacred witness. It does not come often, and it never comes by accident. It comes when it's time. In recent years, white deer have been appearing more often across the United States. Whether albino or leucistic, these rare creatures carry deep spiritual meaning, especially in the eyes of indigenous elders. Sightings have been reported in places where deer are common, yes, but also in places rich with sacred history, in Wisconsin and New York, lands once walked by the Iroquois and Algonquian peoples, near Cherokee territory in North Carolina, and the rolling hills of Oklahoma, even in areas rocked by wild weather, floods, droughts, fires, or places shaken by unrest and division. To some, it's just a curious coincidence, but to many Native elders, it's something more. They believe these white deer are messengers, harbingers, not just symbols of purity, but warnings from the natural world. The earth is speaking, they say, and not with words, but with signs. The prophecy, they believe, is not just unfolding. It is calling out. It is pleading with us to listen. Before the change becomes irreversible, before balance is lost for good. In traditional Cherokee cosmology, balance is sacred. Fire and water, two great forces, must remain in harmony. But when fire overtakes water, destruction follows. Fire, the symbol of passion, power, and transformation, can cleanse, yes, but it can also consume. And today, the world burns. Wildfires rage across forests and homelands. Conflicts flare between nations, neighbors, even families. And yet, the waters rise, flooding towns, drowning crops, shifting coastlines. It's as if the elements themselves are at war. Is this what the white deer warned of? The prophecy speaks of a time when balance is lost, when humanity strays too far from the path. And now, species vanish, storms intensify, oceans swell, and the human spirit grows restless. We divide, we forget, we lose touch with the sacred. Our elders, keepers of wisdom, leave this world, and too often their voices go unheard. But the white deer returns, not as a comfort, but as a reminder, a living sign moving gently through the trees, calling us back to balance, to humility, to harmony with the earth, because there may not be many chances left to listen. And so the deer walks quietly, but purposefully, a sacred reminder in a world that has nearly forgotten how to hear. One of the most haunting truths of the white deer prophecy is its ambiguity. It doesn't promise doom, nor does it guarantee peace. It's a sign, a signal, a turning point. The great change it heralds can go either way. Cherokee tradition speaks clearly. If we return to balance, if we honor the earth, if we respect all life, if we walk in truth, then the white deer is a blessing, a sacred sign that healing is possible. But if we continue chasing greed, if we fuel division and war, if we poison the land and forget the sacred, then the white deer is no longer a comfort. It becomes a warning, a final reminder before collapse. That's the power of prophecy. It doesn't seal our fate. It reflects it. And now the white deer walks again, not with words, not with fury, but with silence, graceful, present, watching. The message is not written in thunder or fire. It's carried in the stillness, in a glance, in the choice we still have. Because in the end, the deer doesn't decide what comes next. We do. Cherokee elders who still carry the oral traditions say something powerful. Prophecy is not meant to cause fear. It's meant to awaken the heart. One elder said it best. The deer does not shout. It walks softly. If you do not see it, it is gone. That is the way of the warning. It gives you one chance to listen. In the old days, visions of the white deer were sacred. Dreams were taken seriously. Shamans would fast, pray, and seek guidance, not just for themselves, but for the people. They knew that signs from the natural world were messages. They understood that the earth speaks, but not with words. Today, many elders say, we've forgotten how to listen. We explain away signs as chance, superstition, or myth. But the white deer still walks. Its steps are silent. Its eyes are watchful. It waits for someone to notice, to remember, to feel the earth again. This is not just folklore. It's a reminder. The world still speaks, but only to those willing to hear. And the question now is, are we still listening? The Cherokee white deer prophecy might sound like ancient poetry, but its message, it's clearer and more urgent than ever. Reverence for nature is not optional. It's not a romantic idea. It's survival. In Cherokee tradition, the white deer appears when the earth is crying out, when the balance has been lost, when humanity must choose. Today, that choice is staring us in the face. Storms grow stronger. Waters rise. The ground itself shakes beneath our feet. It's not just weather. It's a warning. What the prophecy asks is simple. Return to purity of heart. Seek clarity of mind. Act in peace, not pride. The white deer is not a fairy tale. It's a sacred sign. It carries the hope of restoration, but also the weight of judgment. Will we listen? Or will we keep walking, blind to the silence that follows? The earth still speaks. The signs still appear, but only to those with ears to hear and eyes to see. The white deer still walks, not in legend, but in truth. The Cherokee white deer prophecy is not alone. Across Turtle Island, indigenous voices have echoed the same warning. The Hopi speak of the blue Kashina. The Lakota remember the fire serpent. The Iroquois tell of a coming great cleansing. Each prophecy points to a moment of decision. And that moment is now. The white deer has been seen. And when it appears, the world stands on the edge of change. This is not about mythology. It's about reality. The earth is shifting. The balance is breaking. And the spirits are speaking louder than ever before. So the question is no longer if the prophecy is real, but how will we respond? Will we walk the path of the deer? Quiet, pure, in harmony with the land? Or will we ignore the sign, dismiss the warning, and walk blindly into the storm? The choice belongs to each of us. Listen, remember, return to balance, because the white deer still walks. If this message moved you, help keep the wisdom alive. Like, share, and subscribe for more ancient voices that still speak today.